BC, merely Chris here with a quick video as a response to smfcpthowdy's 1800 subs contest. Now this is John's second 1800 subs contest because he had one a while back. Then when he kind of packed in making videos for a while, he lost a number of subs. He restarted and he's got back up to that level again. So he's having another redux 1800 subs contest. Now I'm going to hold my hand up here and say I was one of those subs that left when John stopped making vids. I wasn't making videos myself at the time. I was just hunting around for stuff on YouTube, looking at different channels, and any channel that sort of wasn't putting out content, I just kind of unsubbed. Joined again as soon as I realised he was making videos again, but hey, hands up, I was one of those, sorry. But to those of you doing this contest again, I'm one of the guys who's made this possible. So I hope that doesn't discount me for anything here, John, but there you go, I was one of those guys. So John's contest comes in two parts. The first part was to name a resurrection album. So an album produced by a band who had been a bit of a slump, hadn't done much for a while, or just was in a rut, and then all of a sudden produced something that just hit the nail on the head. And I kind of went through the obvious contenders. So I had a look at Aerosmith, and I thought, nah, several other people done that. Thought Iron Maiden was an obvious one, but I'm not a huge Iron Maiden fan, so it would have been a bit silly me doing something like that. Very nearly came close to doing Accept, because Accept's last few albums have been absolutely superb and a real return to form. But I went with the band who, up until, say, 10 years ago, I would have definitely said were my favourite band of all time. And that's not that I don't like them anymore. It's just that, I don't know, I listen to more stuff now, I listen to other stuff. They're still in the top three, and on any given day it could be number one, but I wouldn't swear the fact that they are number one all the time these days. So who is it? UFO. And this is the 1995 album Walk on Water. Now this was a huge, huge return to form. They had Paul Chapman left the band in 1983 after Making Contact, and then they did another couple of studio albums in the meantime. A couple with Atomic Tommy M, Misdemeanor, and Ain't Misbehaving. Ain't Misbehaving is basically just a glorified EP. And then they got in Lawrence Archer of Stampede fame. Well, fame. I mean, you know, most people haven't heard of the guy, and did High Stakes and Dangerous Men. But it was going through the motions, really. There was no, it wasn't UFO for me. And then this album came out. I mean, the rumours were that they'd been offered an awful lot of money in Japan to reform. You know, talks of £1 million and stuff like that. And this is the sort of classic Strangers in the Night lineup getting back together. So you've got Phil Mogg on vocals, Pete Way on bass, Michael Schenker on guitar, Andy Parker on drums, and Paul Raymond on guitar and keyboards. And this is just an absolutely stunning album. Absolutely stunning. If you've not heard this before, I just urge you to, and you like rock music, I urge you to give this a listen. It is a brilliant, brilliant album. Came out in 1995 in Japan, but didn't really get a release anywhere else until a couple of years later in 1997. I think USA might have been even later, in about 98, to get an official release. I'm pretty sure the UK and European releases didn't come out until 97. Superb album. This is the Japanese version. I bought it on import as soon as it came out. This isn't my original copy. My original copy got nicked when we were burgled. But I bought one straight after. It was probably the first album I bought after we were burgled and we got the insurance money back. As you can see, it's autographed by the band. Well, all of them barring Andy Parker. Andy Parker didn't play on the tour for the album. Simon Bright of AC/DC took the drum stool for the tour. But I've got the rest of the band on there. This is Japanese release, like I say, it comes with a few extra goodies. If I can get it out of the box. That's your disc if you're interested in that sort of thing. So what do we get in here? It's the Obi. Nice sort of green holographic-y type sticker thing. Some bump and a plectrum. There you go. So it's a brilliant album. I absolutely adore it. It's in my top 3 UFO albums of all time, which is saying something. If you've not heard it, like I say, do yourselves a favour, go out and have a listen. Now, like I said earlier, this is their first album since '83's Making Contact. UFO have had a history of blowing it, totally. I mean, they blew up on the '83 tour, and pretty much the band died. Phil Mogg went off to do a solo project, which ended up being UFO. The Misdemeanor album was going to be some sort of solo project, and Atomic Tommy M was brought in for that project, but then released under the UFO name. And they blew up big style after this. I mean, like I say, this is an absolutely superb album. Came out in Japan in '95, but they couldn't bother their asses and to get it out anywhere else until the earliest of 1997. And any momentum they had was just lost. I mean, they've got a strong fan base, and you go to see them these days on tour, and the places will be packed out. But they had such a big chance to really push on and blew it. I mean, Schenker was a loose cannon. He left the band a couple of times in the interim period and eventually got kicked out in about 2004 and has been replaced ably by Vinnie Moore ever since. But this album, absolutely superb. Give it a listen. It is such a dramatic return to form. I can't praise it highly enough. So there you go. I'll stop whipping on about that now. So, John's second part was to name a cover version which you think is better than the original. Now, I love a cover version. I really do love a cover version. But I'm just going to limit it with a couple of things here. I'm going to start things off with a UFO connection. Whenever UFO went on stage, they were always preceded by the intro music, which was sensational Alex Harvey Band's Faith Healer. Now, sensational Alex Harvey Band also did one of my favourite ever covers, and that's of Jacques Brel's Au Sauvant, which they renamed Next, and is stunning. I mean, I heard this version long before I knew it was a Jacques Brel song, and it is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, this whole album's superb. I mean, it's got Faith Healer, Giddy Up Again, Giddy Up a Ding Dong. There you go, gang bang on this. Brilliant, brilliant album. But Next, stunning, stunning cover version. If you've not heard it, give it a shout. If you have heard it and didn't realise it was a cover, check out Jacques Brel's original version. It's a great song in its own right, but this, just brilliant. Next, I'm going to go big style on the covers. And I'm going to pull this up. This is Matthew Sweet and Susanna Hoffs, Completely Under the Covers. Now, Susanna Hoffs was one of my teenage crushes. I mean, she is still drop dead gorgeous there, and I think that photograph was taken in about 2014. They did the Undercovers series of albums, and they released one which had 1960s covers on, then they released a 1970s cover album, and then a 1980s covers album. For this box set, they did 3 double albums, and they increased the number of songs on there. And the song I'm going to pick for my cover office, and there are some great covers on here. There are some songs that don't work as well, but there are some that work particularly well and are well worth a listen. I mean, the whole thing's worth a listen if you like cover versions, but the one I'm choosing is Girls Talk. and that's an Elvis Costello song, probably made famous by Dave Edmunds and Rock Pile. So that would have been late 70s, 79, something like that. Dave Edmunds took Girl Talk into the UK charts, got into the top 5, either 4 or 5, I can't remember. Brilliant song, but the version on here is absolutely stunning. Susanna Hoffs has just got one of those voices that makes me melt. Love it. Well worth a listen. Like I say, you've got how many tracks on here? Oh, blimey. 16. 40 odd tracks on there, all cover versions, all brilliant. Some better than others, but no real duffers on it. Well worth a listen. So there you go, John. I'm going to leave it at that because I could go on all night for about cover versions. And there's plenty enough on that Susanna Hoffs and Matthew Sweet thing. Congrats on the 1800 subs again. Sorry for unsubscribing first time round, but hey, gives you an opportunity to have another subs contest. So there you go. Cheers and thanks for watching, anyone who has watched this, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye now.